why we have an editing button.
Oh, okay.
Take my gut out. Start wearing a green shirt.
Yeah. Oh my God, where's my body? Help me, Ron!
I'll just green screen abs.
There you go. Yeah, that works. That totally works. Yeah.
All right. Welcome, traders.
Welcome to Sweep Week.
It's Pledge Week.
Pledge Week. Hell Week.
Supported by donors like you.
Yeah.
We can do that.
We could. We can get you a pen from the bank that I can take, and we can send that out for a $5 contribution.
Do all this in our best NPR voices.
Absolutely.
Episode 10, Everything's Late, Nobody Dies.
Still true.
Still true, and holding very true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that the other day. You haven't had a single week where your books came in, one or the other came in together, or when they were supposed to. Like,
no, I haven't. No, it's messy and terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. I don't even. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, and it was bad this week because with the holiday there was a substitute driver for UPS.
Right.
And they just decided they just didn't want to come back, so they just left all the DC stuff there until an hour before it was supposed to be on the shelf.
Wow.
Which was super helpful. That was really fun. It was a fun week. It's been a really fun week. A lot of things going on.
So you were sorting this week's DC with this week's Marvel.
Yeah, and they were both huge shipments.
They were big shipments this week.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good books this week.
So I popped over to the liquor store before I went home. Just to see how they're doing.
I thought you were going to say you popped over to the liquor store before you started sorting.
Oh, no, I should have. I should have, actually. Yeah, I should have. And you would have gotten all kinds of interesting things.
Whatever gets through the day. Be like, oh, that's why John Carter's in my hold.
Oh, no, that's not why. That's not why. Because it's your favorite book.
Yeah.
It's top quality, top shelf, top tier.
Yeah. I'm just counting it. Six books.
Mm-hmm. What's our topic today? Is it John Carter?
No.
Is it UPS?
Yeah, just the BS.
Just the BS?
Yeah.
I'm good at that. I'm good at that.
That's kind of where we're at.
Well, I see you have a Spider-Man here.
I do. I actually brought this because I have been in a major CGC dump lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in everything across the board. So I sent two of these off. The plan was I was going to get them both graded, and then one of them I would flip, another one would go in the vault.
Mm-hmm.
And start building that up for the future or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent two of them off, my two best, and they both graded 9.8.
Okay.
And only one of them showed up.
Huh?
They can't find my other Spectacular Spider-Man 1 9.8 with custom label. Yeah. And then you call them and they're like, I don't know. I'm like, well, I don't know either. It's your job to know.
Oh, they don't help.
Yeah.
Their customer service is in name only.
Yeah.
It's like CGC is like Comcast grading certification. It's awful. It's terrible. They suck. There is no customer service there at all. I've tried many times to talk to them about stuff. They're just like, yeah, well, whatever. That's how we do it. Too bad.
Yeah, I don't. And we were discussing it on the way here. I don't understand why we, as a community, continue to support it and continue to let it happen.
I don't know either. Well, there's no choice. I mean, and you can get them graded elsewhere if you want. But the problem with that is, I have people that come in and see PGX or CBCS, and they're like, no, I don't want it. I only want CGC. They're the standard. And I'm like, yeah, but they're the worst. out of the
Well,
three.
if your standards are pretty low,
I guess they're your standards, right? Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Like, we're just, as a collecting community, we've all kind of made up our minds for some reason that we'll go with the worst choice, the slowest choice, the most expensive choice, and the most um, inconsistent choice.
yeah,
I don't know why that is. I don't like nothing else you would say that about.
yeah. I haven't eaten at McDonald's in 3 years because I got sick of not having my fries in my bag when I go through the drive-through, and getting cold
Yeah.
sandwiches.
And I haven't eaten there for a while because it makes me sick. I got a little gassy with you just saying that. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I didn't pick that up, right? Okay. Anyway, um,
But yeah, if I don't like your product or service, I don't support it. But
right.
I, I feel like we're tracked with CGC.
Kind of
I
are.
really do.
I mean, and yeah, it's like going to the gas station and saying, okay, well, gas is really expensive. Nobody's going to help you out, and you're going to pay for that gas. Maybe you'll get all the gas that they say you're going to get. Maybe they won't, and it might
Right.
take a couple of days to fill up. They'd be, oh yeah, let's keep doing that. That's a great idea. That is
Yeah.
a wonderful idea. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
What really doesn't make sense to me is, I mean, this is a conversation that we've been having for a month now with the regulars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody that comes in, and everybody's complaining, and everybody's like, what's going on with my books?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? And it every Wednesday when we come in, this conversation's going on,
Mm-hmm.
but they're
Yeah.
still sending books to CGC. Like, that's who they're sending them to.
I know, and it's so much, And I mean, I keep telling people, that all CGC is it's a person looking at a book and giving their opinion.
Right.
But people put so much stock in that because it's professional and it's slabbed and it's blah blah blah, man, and nobody can get to it. Well, yeah, and nobody can get to it, but I've seen 9.6s with big creases in them.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've seen
Eight
nine,
fives
eight,
without
eight
a
fives with
with a
nothing
no
wrong with
blemish.
them, Ron.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that 8.5 that he got that should have been a nine, easy a 9.8, or easy a 9.6, maybe a 9.8,
Yeah.
and it was an 8.5, and it just didn't,
Yeah. It just
you
doesn't
know,
make sense.
yeah, I don't know, I don't know. Pardon that noise. I ate some Pac-Mans before the show, and I'm a little grumbly.
It was Pokemon.
I mean, it's even so
okay.
bad that, like, we've got a friend he's a lawyer and a big collector, and I asked him once. I'm like, well, why are we not? Why doesn't anybody sue CGC? Is that something you can do? Because the inconsistencies.
Mm-hmm.
And his reply was, yes, you can do that. But if I were to do that with all the books I send in, are they going to give me lower grades? Are they going to,
Oh right,
like,
yeah. There's retribution.
he's found
Yeah.
Phil's held hostage to it.
Yeah. But we have friends that are lawyers.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I gotta watch what I say
No,
from now on.
lawyers, not cops.
Either one doesn't matter. I just gotta watch what I say.
I don't know. Do we have friends that are cops?
Yeah.
We got to know a couple.
Yeah, we do.
Collecting comic books.
Yep. Oh yeah, there's plenty that come in here.
I know some firemen.
Yeah, that's okay though, because in case anything happens, this is a lot of paper.
That's true.
This is a good thing. That's a good thing. We just want to come and have them stamp them out. No water.
Yeah.
Just a troop of firefighters.
Blankets.
Yeah, that's it. Don't blow on the flames. My God. Yeah. So I mean, you can't, like, you're not gonna be able to sue him because they're gonna know, like you said, I mean, they're gonna know that he's the one that spearheaded that, and if he sends stuff in, he's gonna get lower grades. I mean, I complain, they're gonna be like, oh well, screw this guy. He
Right.
paid us, so whatever.
I mean, I find myself in a position where I talk. I don't send books under my business name anymore
Hmm.
because I'm afraid that they're going to be like, oh, he's a pressing service. If we give them lower grades, then maybe they'll use CCS. I don't know. I'm so frustrated with them at the moment that I just can't.
Well, I mean, I've got a lot of people that send a lot of stuff in. Like Ron. And we were just talking yesterday, and he's like, I'm just going to stop for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send them in, and because, just have you press them and just sell them.
Your person that you have grading the Golden Age books, it should be grading them to the same standard that he's grading last week's book for.
Exactly.
And according to them, according to their guidelines,
mm-hmm.
that is the case.
Yeah.
I mean, my one complaint with EGS, Tony's a great guy, and I've talked to him a few times. He knows what he's doing.
Hi, Tony.
I like his.
I've done that for a while.
I like his grading, his approach to it. But my one complaint to him, and that I've constantly told him, you're the only one grading.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're told that the standard is 3 people look at a book, and then you get an average grade from those 3 people. You can't have, and that's supposed to give you the objectivity, right? You don't.
That just that. Okay, I'm sorry. That proves how subjective grading is, because you have 3 people looking at it. They come up with different grades.
Right.
So what does it matter if it's slab?
If all 3 of them say it's a 9.8, then you can damn sure bet it's a 9.8.
Yeah, maybe.
There should be no subjectivity at that point.
Right.
Now, if 2 of them are grading 9.6, 9.8, and another guy is at 7.5, then we got a problem. So something's really off kilter there.
Situation.
But what I keep telling the guys at EGS is that if you're doing it by yourself, you get consistency because you're the only one doing it. But there's no checks and balances.
Yeah.
There's no way for somebody to catch something that you overlooked.
And if you're arguing with yourself and come up with 3 different grades on 3 different days, and you got much deeper problems in grading comics.
And I've done that before. So.
You've got much deeper problems in grading.
I've been told.
By who? Our producer. I can.
Hi.
No, I don't know. I just, the other thing that drives me nuts about this stuff is it's like, and I see it to an extent, but, people will be like, oh, there's scuffing on the back of the CGC case. I'm not going to pay full price for that. It's like, you're not paying for the plastic.
Right.
You're paying, especially if you can't even see it, man. You're paying for the book.
Right.
If you want to pay for the plastic, I'll take the book out and I'll sell the book, and you can buy the damn plastic from me.
And give you a discount for the scuff that's on
the back. And I'll give you a discount for the scuff because that plastic's not near mint.
Right.
My God, man, you're buying the book. I mean, I don't even care if it's like cracked. If you're, unless you're displaying it for art. But if you're displaying it from art, print off a picture from the internet and tape it up to your wall or get a poster. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't understand that.
Or spend a third of the money on gator guards. I was going to bring my gator guard here today. And show it off. It's cool.
Your gator guard? Yeah. Is that like your stick for alligators? What I'm gonna
gator guard, best way to display your books. Like, they're fantastic. It's these thick plastic. He uses a UV protective plastic that breathes, and it's just sandwiches the book between 2 pieces of plastic. There's a screw on each corner, and that's all there is to it.
I have seen that, label. And I do know what you're talking about. I just wanted to see if they would maybe sponsor us if you talked about it enough.
I would totally take a sponsorship from Gator Guard. I love those guys. And the little colored rivets they have are really cool.
And then, you know what? Do that.
Yeah, it's a third of the cost of CGC.
Yeah. No.
And they have stuff in stock. You could have it here, next week, and you'd be done. You'd be done. Like, I still have Golden Age books that it's been over a year. I've paid for my 2nd year of CGC already. And that was the first batch of books I sent in. Still haven't gotten them back.
I had those Turtles books in the last run-ins for like a year. By the time they got back, nobody gave a damn.
James swore up and down that the reason that whole thing happened is they ran out of slabs.
I wouldn't be surprised. But there's no transparency, and they won't tell you anything. I mean, it would also, that would also help though
Absolutely.
if and there's another frustration that I have, and it's when I send stuff in, that doesn't show up on my submission tracking until they check it in. That should all show up in one place,
Right.
received, not received, whatever. That really should show up there. And because I mean, somebody that, excuse me, more Pac-Mans in my
Nice.
tum tum. I mean, it's like the more you send in, the more you lose track of them. I mean, if you're sending in hundreds of books and they lose a couple of books,
Right.
and you might not even realize that until later when you're like, where the hell is that? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, God, okay, great. I don't know where it is. They don't know where it is. They have no record. I have no record. It says it was supposed to be shipped. I said I shipped it, but there's like, whatever, like your other Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where does it go? I mean, I try to keep as much of a record as I can, but sometimes things just slip through the cracks, and that's the way it goes. And I get that, but there should be something there saying this is what you logged, this is what we have, this is what we don't have yet. So then you can look up that tracking and say, okay, did it get there? Did it not get there? You can double check your own records. Did I really send it? Did I forget to send it? Did I accidentally, because I mean, I've accidentally doubled stuff up before,
Right.
because I mean, because their system of recording books is a joke. Their improved system is 10 times worse. And so I have doubled stuff up accidentally because it half the time doesn't say that it took. I mean,
Right.
it's a mess.
They've got the weirdest processes.
Yeah.
Like you fill out the form and you print it out, you send it in with the books, but in my business, what a lot of my customers will do is they'll send me the books with the CGC packing slip,
Okay.
and then I press and clean them. And since I give them free shipping, I either will ship back to them for free or forward them to CGC. So a lot of them choose to forward to CGC because it saves them time, it saves them money.
Right. Sure.
Um, so recently had a gentleman send me some books, and there were two Moon Knights in his order, and one of them was just beat up. It had color rub all along the spine and everything. I sent him a picture, and I'm like, we don't want to submit this because it's going to be a
Yeah.
3.0.
Yeah.
And he blamed his wife, and we all know it's the wife's fault, so
Oh,
it's all good. Uh,
I was
But-
bracing myself for the flying objects. Okay.
but so I had a Black, White, and Blood #1 in 25, and I was like, I will sell this one to you for $20, and you just sub it and send me the PDF, and we'll send it on to CGC. Um, so he agreed, paid, and everything, and then he contacted CGC, and they said, no, just scribble out where it says to and handwrite in your new book.
Yeah.
How the hell is that
That's some
supposed
great
to work?
record keeping. Well, I'm going to send in one New Mutants 98 then, and I'm just scribbled out, but 14. See what happens.
Yeah.
How is that? That's terrible record keeping.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's bananas, baby.
I like banana. I don't like bananas. I
All
like.
right, y'all need to figure out something positive to talk about. What good happened this week?
Oh, I got this back. So
Oh, that is a cool.
that is like totally inverted. Totally. That's my 80s Valley.
It's like.
It's like Tug. No, completely upside down book on the census. 748 9/8 and like 13,000 9/6.
Huh?
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh my god.
Insane.
It's probably because of the foil.
I mean, I knew it was. It is. It's such a hard book to get in a high grade. I mean, I thought I had two that were 9/8, and the other one came back at 9/6. Haven't looked that hard at it. I was expecting them both to be 9/4, 9/6. To be honest.
God, I had a collection that came in years ago, and it had two of the gold ones. Wish I would have held off on selling one of those.
We've got one of my other customers. We've got one of the black.
Oh, the black ones.
Yeah, he's got it in at CGC right now.
Oh man.
And we are just holding our breath. I mean, like his, that's the $1 million
one, right?
Yeah, that's the $1 million collection that I'm working store up in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And like we send in 25 ASM 361s, and not one of them broke a 9.2. You know, and this is like he's a comic shop owner. He kept them in pristine condition for the last 30 years.
I mean, you know, at that point, and at that point, honestly, at that point, just sell them. Just, you know, don't waste the money to send them in. Just sell them, and because it's a cool book.
Well,
you want to read that cool book.
Yeah, and he's looking to like fund his retirement is what he's doing.
Yeah, we all are.
He retired from
one way or another. We all are.
Yeah, he retired from UPS, and now he just wants to retire from his comic book store and move on.
Yeah, so. You know, I mean, I get that. I get that. It can be tough to do.
Yeah.
It can be really tough to do because when you walk away from something like this, that's a life change. You know, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, got to get my FOC done. Okay, I got to get this stuff graded. I got to get this stuff over here. I got to put this. Got to price this stuff. Put it out. Got to do the holds. I got to ship this. You know, and my mind's just going a million miles an hour when I wake up. And to stop would be so weird. I mean, I'm not going to do it for a while, you know, but everybody has to stop sometime.
I don't know. I heard something you said the other day. First 250 grand that comes through the door, you're.
Bring it on, 250. Let's do it, man. Oh wait, no, this is going over YouTube. Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. The first 400 grand that comes through the door. Yeah, come on, you YouTube stars.
Yeah.
Come on, bring the money. Bring the money. Yeah, that was a rough day when I said that. That was like, on bad days, if 250 walked in, I would walk away. If on good days, if 400 came in, I'd walk. It was a pretty good day. I got a lot of things
400 would be a good deal for this inventory, though.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
That'd be a good deal.
Yeah, man, come on, bring it in. Yeah, it's. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. This and it has been, you know, a better week than when I said that. You know, it's been a frustrating week, but it's also been a really fun week. You know, I was talking, I got invited down to Rose Wagner Theater to do a thing with Doug Fabrizio from NPR.
Right.
And we were doing a Q&A after the Batman movie. And
the Rob Pattinson Batman?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, the Batman. You have to say Batman 89 now.
Okay.
Because they keep making movies called Batman.
Yeah.
No, I would have called it The Batman if it was the Pattinson. But no, they screened Batman as part of the Film Society, Utah Film Society. And then they did a Q&A afterward with me and Professor Nielsen from up at the U and Doug. And it was really fun. It was a lot of fun.
That'd be cool.
You know, I left here after a very busy new release day. It was very busy yesterday.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I was tired. I went home, cried to buy tea, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this or not. And then I started thinking, I'm like, okay, you know, screw it, man. I'm just gonna go down, blah blah. Oh, I had so much fun. It was really fun. It was a blast.
So just talking about the history of Batman and
yeah, you know, and
cool.
You know, and Doug is such an amazing interviewer. Like he can lead. He's so talented. He can lead any conversation to a natural flow and a natural conclusion. You know, and it's kind of funny because I listened to Radio West a million times on KUER, right? And you know, to hear, okay, great, and we're out of time. I want to thank everyone for coming. And I've heard that like a million times, but I was sitting up on a stage next to him when he said it this time, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, that's how it feels. Okay, that's cool. But no, it was so much fun.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, I mean, and you know, and that's it's easy to get lost in the with all this stuff because there's so much of it. You
Right.
know, it's a frustrating business. But, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still making a living being a geek, being a professional geek.
That is
And
kind of cool.
just like, what do I do? And I pay myself a decent living for sitting around like this and talking to people about comics all day. Like, this is not very different than what I do every day here. You
Right.
know, it's
Right.
just right now I'm giving you a little more attention than I typically would because, you know.
Yeah. You normally don't pay attention to me at all.
What's that?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the one standing in the back of the room. Okay, over here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm like, yeah, hold one, 1 minute, press
Like,
boy. 1 minute, presser boy.
I'm talking to real customers.
Yeah. Why don't you go talk to your wife? Oh, she won't talk to you either because of that thing you said.
Yeah, that's true. That happens a lot.
No, but you know, like you said, at the end of the day, it is like, and it is something that I can come in here and look at and be like, wow, man, there's so much work. It's so frustrating. There's so much going on, but I can still be proud of it because it's mine.
Right.
You know, I created the work, but I also created the store,
Right.
and that's kind of, again, at the end of the day, that's kind of cool. And I try to be creative with stuff. Like bags of boards are at a premium right now. You have a tough time getting them. My lights are almost impossible to get right now.
Yeah.
And it's like I come in and I'm like, all right, I got to go through this collection. I was like, oh, these are brand new bags of boards in this collection. Great, okay, I can use that. Okay, well, this is a bag that's got a little tear in it, but the board's brand new. I'll take the board out and I'll use this bag for a quarter book, and then I'll put this over here with a new bag, and then I'll do, so it's kind of fun being creative like that out of necessity.
Right.
But it is. It's like working puzzles every day. And when I don't solve the puzzle, I get a little pissed. But most of the time, you can figure out a way to solve it.
Yeah, and I find
and
myself
that's good.
with what I'm doing, that the whole CGC thing has really been crushing down on me the last couple of weeks. It's been tough. It's been really tough. My presses are running about half of what they were 3 weeks ago, and trying to keep up without selling off everything I have. I don't want to get rid of all my inventory because it's a good time to hold. It's a good time to buy, which I'm not doing a lot of. I'd like to do more, but
I'm doing a bit much.
if you can hold, you need to hold right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you don't. Now is not the time to sell for if you want longevity in this hobby.
Yeah.
So I'm in that position where I'm not making a lot of money. I'm just barely keeping the bills paid. I am keeping the bills paid, but just barely. And it's frustrating and it's overwhelming. And I just got to remember it's comic books. I'm playing the comic books. I'm sorting magic cards. I'm a professional
You're being
geek.
a kid for a living.
Yeah, I'm a professional geek.
Yeah, and that's kind of fun.
I
It's still fun.
got in an argument with some jock on Facebook yesterday about comic books because he didn't understand the difference between the Avengers and the Defenders.
Well,
I mean,
one
whatever.
group avenges and the other defends. Duh.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very true. We need to definitely need to keep it in perspective.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's and yeah, I will come in here and I'll get mad because the DC returns is just that's a story we'll go into later when we're not doing this.
I saw your covers for affidavits.
Those aren't even affidavits. I was just pissed and started tearing them up. Those aren't even affidavit covers.
Just started tearing apart books.
Well, yeah, they didn't. One of them didn't get submitted supposedly, and the other one didn't have pictures, so they said they weren't going to give me credit for any of the stuff that I've already ripped up. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. I've ripped up hundreds of dollars worth of stuff here because that's what you said you wanted me to do. And they said, well, we'll give you a chance. We'll fix one of your screw ups, but we're only going to give you one. So figure out what it is. And I'm like, wow, that's really kind of you. Thanks, you guys. And I'm like, that is not the way to do this. And they said, well, it's what DC mandates. It's DC's rules. And I'm like, Okay, well, I mean, I guess I got to eat something. Which month am I going to eat full returns?
Is it DC's rules?
Yeah, it is because they've set up the returns. And there is an affidavit, but you have to. It's not like a regular affidavit. With Diamond's affidavit, you fill it out, and you hold on to those things for a couple of weeks. And if they want proof that you're not going to sell them, that you're not just blowing smoke, then you have to either send them back or send them pictures of the strip cover, or whatever. And if they don't, then throw them in a box, or you give them to people, or you mark them down, or I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? It doesn't, whatever the case might be, right? Um, with DC, they want you to strip the covers, send them pictures, fill out their very confusing return form, submit that with the pictures that you upload, and then it takes them several months to get to it.
Wow.
So that's not a good way to do it.
No, but I'm sure
I
the
mean,
hope
it's not.
there is if it's that big of a hassle to do,
That people
then
will
you're
not
not
do
going to do it.
returns. Yeah, that's yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I paid $5, or I got a free trial for Paramount, and I totally spaced it off, and it's so much trouble to cancel that thing. My God, I'll just keep it going.
Right.
That's what they're hoping. Of course it is. And I mean, yeah, and I get that. I just wish they would make it easier because they've already made it very difficult to deal with them, and every step you have to take is even more difficult. Um, and that's, I mean, and I almost kind of feel bad for the people of Lunar because they have to, they're not particularly kind about it, but I
Right.
imagine they won't be, much like the Diamond, reps that we used to have. I mean, much like they were always pissed, pretty much, because all they did, like every week, they just get yelled at. This sucks, man. This shipment sucks. Oh, this is this is late. How come you did this? I want to, I don't know. Man, and people get so mad at them, and I understand that anger because I have it too. Um, but I kind of feel bad for them because they got to deal with that. And so they just put this barrier out that's like, yeah, we don't care.
I have to wonder if DC or Marvel, either of them, or Image at this point, they're big enough that they could go to all of these distributors and say,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, there's three distributors right now.
Yeah.
They could go to all three of them and say, all three of you can distribute my books. I wonder if they could make more money because they would increase their overall
Well,
output.
for publishers though, it's never been a long-term game. It's always a short-term situation. That's different for the movies based on the comics. The movies are about as long-term as you can get.
Right.
The comics have always been short-term. Short-term grabs, and that's why when you get a new Deadpool book, okay, or a new Deadpool movie, there's going to be 5 Deadpool books on the shelf. You know, there's a new Thor movie. Oh, gee, that's weird. There's all of a sudden three, four
Right.
Thor books on the shelf. How strange, man. And then they just flood it like that so they can get that short-term money. And it's like, okay, well, 4 X-Men books did well. Let's try 13 of them. They want that short-term money. They don't care about the long term. So their short-term right now with that distribution, is they don't have to pay Diamond as a middleman.
Hmm. Right.
And now, because you can still get Marvel through Diamond, it's a little more expensive getting it through Diamond than it is through Random House because they are the middleman and they're not paying them; they're just charging them a higher rate. So, I mean, if they can have control over their own distribution, then they're not going to go through those other channels. And also the price would not be the same. They'd be like, okay, well, you can go through our DC would be like, you can go through Lunar and you'll get a 51% discount, or you can go through Random House or Diamond and you're only going to get a 40% discount.
I don't
And
know
that's
what
to try and keep it home so they don't have to pay as
what
much.
doesn't make a lot of sense to me is that you hear constantly that it's dead. Comic books are dead. Print in general is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, books are doing well. Novels are doing extremely well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not Kindle books, but actual paper, hold it in your hand novels are doing extremely well right now.
Because it's retro, bro.
Yeah, people love it, and
Like reading a book is retro.
yeah,
It really
and
is.
the same with comic books. I mean, comic books. I think that we have 90 years of established history that's telling us comic books aren't going anywhere.
No, they're not.
So why not capitalize on that new fad of comic books and maybe get them out there to where your people can read them?
I think it would be a good idea, really, to, what you're saying, have everybody have all their stuff available with all three distributors. Okay, Diamond, Random House, Lunar. Everybody gets to distribute your books at a straight discount. Okay, none of this like, oh man, well, it's 51% here, it's 52% here, it's 48% here, it's 50% there. None of that crap, man. On an established tier like Diamond did, and they do a good job. If that is one thing that I will say with Diamond, they do a good job with that tier,
Right.
discount tier. Because it makes sense. If you're going to buy $1 million a month from, and you should get a little bit bigger discount than somebody's going to buy $1,000 a month from. Yeah, that makes sense. That's fine. Yeah,
Right.
Midtown gets a better discount than I do. So what? They buy more. Okay, that's fair. I get a better discount than a tiny shop, in Midvale that mostly does gaming that has a couple of comics. I'll get a much better discount because I buy a lot more comics. Okay, yeah, that's fair. You know, but you do that, you give people that choice again, and for God's sake, man, lower your cover price
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Cover
trim
prices
down your
crazy.
titles. Trim down your titles, lower your cover price, make everything $3.99, no matter what. If it's an annual, make it $4.99. None of this, oh, it's issue 13, which is legacy number 400, so it's going to be $11.99 or any of that garbage, man. None of that.
Right.
And stop with the $10 miniseries and everything and the $12 one shots, and just do $3.99 books. And if you did that and you trim down your titles, like I'm not buying all the Batman stuff, but if they had 4 Batman books or 3 Batman books at $3.99, I'd be getting every single one of them and all the variants.
Yeah. Well, and if you look, I mean, there are some books, um, Saga,
Mm-hmm.
Stillwater, that are producing one cover for a reasonable price. Saga's $3.99, Stillwater's or Saga's $2.99,
Mm-hmm.
Stillwater's $3.99.
You scared me. I thought I'd been charging people wrong this whole time. Like, oh God, hold on.
Great stories, and
Mm-hmm.
I know that those are selling better than Aquaman.
Oh yeah. I mean, and if you just want to look at the image stuff,
Yeah,
Stillwater with one cover is selling better than Hellcop with 5 covers.
right.
Okay, it is. I mean, there's no argument there. The sales numbers will bear that
And
out.
I think it's intimidating. I think when you give 5 covers to a book, it's
Mm-hmm.
intimidating. And you can't tell me that's why they didn't take Spawn from 5 to 3 to now 2 covers.
Yeah.
I think
And also people don't know what they are because they don't put the title on them.
I think big books. I think big books. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Spider Man, Cap, maybe the Avengers. Two covers.
Open order, 2 covers.
Open order, absolutely.
Yeah.
And use your ratio incentives for FOC like they used to.
Or you know what? Only do ratio incentives on 1, 25, 50, 75, 100. Like every 25 issues, man.
Like Poison Ivy 3, as cool of a book as it is,
Mm-hmm.
and as cool as those covers are, they're beautiful covers, does not need a 120, 1 in 25.
No.
Certainly doesn't need the 1 in 50 that I'm going to have to get because it's spectacular. But
it doesn't need it, but
is
apparently you do.
It is a beautiful cover.
Oh, it's gorgeous. No. And
yeah,
well, they've taken their cues from Marvel, because they didn't used to do that. DC
right.
didn't used to have those ratio variants. They were open order variants.
Yeah.
They did not have ratio variants, and they didn't like ratio variants. At retailer summits, I heard more than once DC like giving Marvel shit because they do ratio variants. Just kind of sly little, hi,
Yeah.
and they'll all be open order, no ratios, things like that, right? And they learned that from Marvel, and they learned that when AT&T took them, and then they got their own distributor. That's where they learned it, and because they figured out that Marvel was making money off of those.
Yeah.
And they went, oh God, yeah, and we should too. And initially it was 1 in 10s, then it was 1 in 25s, then 1 in 50s, then 1 in 100s. Now there's 1 in 200s, there's 1 in 500s.
And I've been collecting Batman again for about 5 years, and there is not a single 1 in 25 ratio variant that's better looking than a Matina B cover.
No, there's not. There's not.
Like if you want to put your best cover on your ratio, you're certainly not doing it with your.
No, you're not doing it,
because those Matinas are
right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and and the other thing that just burns me with that are their team variants. Have you seen those on the DC stuff?
No.
I don't even know why they call them team variants. I don't understand why they call them that, but they're the ones that like the minimum order is 200 copies.
Oh yeah,
that's garbage.
One per store, 250.
Oh no. They're team variants, they say, and the only way you can order them is if you order 200 copies, but you get 200 copies of that cover.
Oh, okay.
The minimum order is like 200, 250 copies, whatever the case may be.
But it has to all be that one cover.
Yeah.
Wow.
And guess who's never ordered those?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not going to order those, man. Who's going to order them? Midtown, Mile High, and maybe Lone Star will go.
I don't even know why they would.
And because they've got 10 different stores, so they can spread them out through. If you've got 5-6 stores and you're ordering 1,000 copies of something, you may as well get the 200 copies of that. You got your online store, you got all your physical stores, you got your eBay store, you've got your Amazon store, you've got your whatnot store, you got all that garbage, man. You're gonna sell if you're that big. Now, I'm one store. I'm not big enough to sell 200 copies of, Batgirl's #1 if that's the only copy or the only cover I've got, and because that's not going to be the only cover.
I mean, that's doing nothing but hurting smaller stores.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because then you have to go to a bigger store to get that cover.
And I mean, if
it's poo-poo.
Okay, so if you go out of business because of stupid stuff like that, I mean, there's 2 more comic shops in Salt Lake. But if the guys in Pocatello, Idaho, go out of business because of
there's
that kind
of
thing,
shops.
they're not selling comic books to people in Pocatello anymore.
Right.
Because those people are not driving down here every Wednesday to get their books.
No, they're not.
So
no, they're not.
That's pretty short-sighted.
Yeah.
All right. So a lot of interesting stuff. I did want to show this off. This is super cool.
Guy Joe, he's a hero of American proportions. Oh, look, it looks like it's a 9.8. That's nice. Make me an offer.
That would be a pretty huge book in her 9.8.
Yeah, that would.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this up. We're over time by a little bit.
Yeah.
Might do a little trimming on it. Might not. Might just not care. So you never know. You
might trim. You might not. You might not trim. You might. I don't know.
Cut.
Yeah. Cut.
All right. So there you go, traders. Another one in the bag. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and click the little bell.
Beep.
Beep. Beep. Beep the little clicker. That way you get notified for any upcoming shows. And if there's a topic you want us to talk about, 20-something years in the business, owns his own comic shop, here's your chance. He's obviously not shy to tell you what he thinks.
I'm not. I will tell you.
All right. See you later, traders.